Cyberpunk 2077, is it worth playing in 2025? How's it going, everybody? Mr. Holton here, and today we're back with another blast from the past, this particular one having almost blasted CDPR's good name to smithereens. Now we're gonna be looking at all the good stuff and some other useful information before you decide to throw your hard-earned cash at the supposed redemption story of a game. But before we do, I'd appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Many thanks. Now, let's kick things off with the visuals and atmosphere, because if there's one thing Cyberpunk has always done well, it's looking like a ridiculously expensive neon fever dream. Even today in 2025, it's still one of the best looking games out there, like to the point where it makes other AAA games look like they were filmed on a Nokia. CDPR might have fumbled the launch, but they definitely didn't slack when it came to graphics, especially after all the updates and tech upgrades they've crammed in. I've played plenty of gorgeous games this year, Expedition 33 being one of the standouts with its incredible environments, but Cyberpunk just hits different. There's something about driving around Night City at 2 AM when the neon reflections hit the puddles just right and the synthwave kicks in that just feels spiritually right. If you've ever wanted to roleplay as a depressed tech wizard in a dystopian Blade Runner music video, this is your playground. Honestly, it's kind of unfair how good it looks. Now, a lot of that shine comes from the recent additions like Ray Tracing Overdrive, Path Tracing on PC, DLSS 3 and 4. Basically, if you got a beefy rig like me, the game will reward you with visuals that make your eyes cry tears of joy. Crowd density and AI also saw a big bump. At launch, Night City felt kind of like a movie set when no one was actually filming. Now the city actually feels alive. People actually run when bullets fly. Sometimes they even shoot back, which is equal parts terrifying and immersive. It's not quite genius level AI, but it beats mannequins on a loop. Visual bugs have been vastly reduced to, the good old days of T-posting street vendors and NPCs spontaneously combusting seem like a distant dream. These days, it's mostly small stuff like V's shadow occasionally forgetting how hair works, though that might just be my mods or the cyberpsychosis, it's hard to tell. Now, let's talk world systems, because immersion got a serious glow up too. You remember when the cops used to teleport behind you like ghost ninjas? Yeah, that is pretty much gone. Now the NCPD actually chases you, sets up roadblocks, and calls in max tac when things get real.
All units, suspect is a confirmed cyberpsycho. Do not engage. A max tac squad has been dispatched.
Car chases are now also a thing, both scripted and dynamic. You have gangs that will remember you if you mess with them, which is a pretty nice touch. The update 2.1 added the metro system, which means you can actually ride trains around the city. Now, I don't really use it because fast travel exists and I'm lazy, but it's a cool option if you want to soak in the city and pretend you're late for a corpo job that you hate.
Hi, sweetie.
Next stop, Wellsprings.
I'll be late tonight.
Alright, now let's talk gameplay, specifically the combat, because CDPR actually managed to pull off a glow up that goes beyond just slapping some polish on a broken system and calling it a day. What we have now is something you can genuinely sink your chrome-plated claws into, because back at launch, the game basically had one answer to every problem: go Netrunner, press Contagion, sip tea, and watch everyone drop like flies. And honestly, that was very overpowered and kind of fun, but also pretty sad, because every other build felt useless in comparison. Fast forward to 2025 and things have changed. Net running is still strong, don't get me wrong, you can still fry a guy's brain from across a parking lot, but now it takes a bit more finesse. You'll need to chain hacks properly, pick the right enemies, and sometimes even look at the battlefield. Disgusting, I know. But the best part is that other builds actually matter now. Stealth, for one, finally came out of its cave and started lifting. Running around with throwing knives is stupid fun, and I mean that in the best way. There's nothing like silently wiping out an entire gang, one neck at a time, while the last guy just wanders around mumbling about how everything's fine. The new finishers take that up a notch as well. There's something really deeply satisfying about stabbing someone in the neck from across the room like you're a cyber ninja with teleportation-based anger issues. Gone are the weird passive bonuses and boring filler nodes. Now it's all about the big impact abilities that change how you actually play. There are legit debates online about which builds are best, and not just from the same 5 sweaty people in Discord who play everything on very hard. You can go full stealth ninja hacker or a blunt force wrecking ball, or both. You know, hybrid builds are extremely viable and arguably the most fun because variety keeps things fresh, and also because sometimes you just want to stab a guy and crash his cyberbrain at the same time. It's called multitasking, guys. Armor also makes way more sense now, you know, instead of getting stats from your leather trench coat and anime t-shirts, you now get armor from cyberware, which is, you know, logical. There's also a limit to how much cyberware you can install, which ties into the whole cyberpsychosis angle. Push yourself too far and, well, Night City starts to feel a little loud. Now when it comes to story and side content, Phantom Liberty is the moment CDPR looked us all dead in the eyes and said, hey, yeah, you remember that game we promised you in 2018? Yeah, this is it. And to their credit, it kind of is. This expansion feels like the actual realization of the game's original vision, which I've mentioned before. It has great writing, high-stakes choices, and characters that aren't just there to hand you a quest and immediately disappear into NPC purgatory. It's not just more content slapped onto the map. Phantom Liberty brings entirely new story paths and multiple new endings for V. Actual endings, not the pick a door and cry kind from the base game. Now I won't spoil them, but they are, well, emotional to say the least. Like, I need to stare at a wall for a bit emotional. And true to Cyberpunk tradition, don't expect rainbows and happily ever afters. Like, this is Night City, the only thing that lives happily here is your trauma. Characters like Solomon Reed and Songbird absolutely carry the expansion. Reed, played by Idris Elba, brings that cool yet haunted vibe you'd expect from someone who probably murdered a lot of people in very quiet rooms. And Songbird, let's just say that she's the emotional equivalent of a hand grenade. You pull the pin and try not to feel anything. Also, let's talk about Johnny Silverhand. I thought for sure they were gonna sideline him for the expansion, like, thanks Keanu, you can go now. But no, he's actually here, and he's still throwing shade, offering unsolicited life advice, and roasting your decisions like it's his full-time job, which it kind of is. Keanu also seems like he's genuinely enjoying playing this character, and honestly, I enjoy watching him enjoy it.
You were just chewing out.
So yeah, Phantom Liberty elevates the entire base game. It's tense, it's well written, and it finally delivers the kind of narrative experience people were begging for back when the game first dropped, like a flaming vending machine. It fills them with actual meaning, emotional weight, and some of the best character writing CDPR has ever done. Now, it would be a mistake to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 in 2025 without mentioning its modding community, because they've been quietly, and sometimes not so quietly, elevating this game in ways even CDPR couldn't predict. From expanded customization options to gameplay overhauls and quality of life fixes, mods have filled in a lot of the gaps. Now, even if you're not big into modding, it's worth browsing Nexus or checking out collections curated by the community. A few key installs can smooth out edges, expand the game's potential, and just make it feel more like your version of Night City. So, after all the patches, the singular expansion, all the hotfixes and hype cycles and memes, does Cyberpunk 2077 finally live up to the promise? Yeah, it kinda does. In 2025, this is the game people thought that they were buying back in 2020. The combat works, the world feels alive, the characters matter, and your decisions actually stick. It's deep, it's immersive, and it's no longer being held together by dreams and apology tweets. For the new players, you're walking into Night City at the best time. There's tons of replayability, real consequences to your choices, and enough story paths to make you second guess yourself for days. And for the people who bounced off it at launch, yeah, you had every right. But now it's worth a second look. Between Phantom Liberty, the massive perk and combat reworks, and all the little immersive systems finally working like they were supposed to, it's a whole different game. One that doesn't crash when you blink too hard. Of course, some folks might still be wary. Trust isn't something CDPR can patch in. But if you're willing to give them another shot, this version of Cyberpunk might just earn it back. Bottom line, Cyberpunk 2077 in 2025 is absolutely worth it. Whether you catch it on sale or go full price, you're finally getting the experience we were all promised years ago. Kind of. Now before you click off, remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and don't forget to subscribe if you want more content like this. This has been Mr. Holton, signing off.